All right, so the Denver Nuggets take game 3. They win this game 109-94. It was a very, very tough loss for the Miami Heat. Denver regains home court advantage though in a series like this. I'm not even sure if that matters anymore. But this was a great performance by the Denver Nuggets. They really just relied on their two best players and just went. I don't remember the last time I've seen something like this. You had a game where you had two players, the two star players, both of them had triple doubles. Nikola Jokic had 32 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists. Jamal Murray had 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. That is fantastic. This legitimately, Jokic and Jamal Murray might be the best duo in basketball right now. Just the way they're executing. They might be the best duo in basketball. The key to beating this team is you have to take away Jamal Murray. Because if you leave Nikola Jokic on an island, he can't win the game on his own. You have to find a way to make sure one of those guys is ineffective. And the best person to try and take away is Jamal Murray because Nikola Jokic cannot be stopped. Tonight was a great game by the Denver Nuggets. They took what Mike Malone said to them to heart, and they showcased it here. In game 2, a lot of the times, they were settling for threes and chucking up shots. Tonight, they didn't do that. They took 18 threes. They were 5 for 18 from the three-point line tonight. What they did is they played bully ball. Mike Malone talked about the lack of physicality, how they got outworked and out-physicaled by Miami. So, they showcased that they were going to be able to come out here and outwork and out-physical Miami. Basically, Denver sat back and said, wait a minute, we're bigger than you guys. We're more physical than you guys. We're more talented than you. Why are we taking all these three-point shots? Let's take the ball, drive it to the paint, and beat you at the rim. You cannot guard us in the paint. We have way too much size for you guys to deal with us in the paint consistently. So that's what they did. Nikola Jokic was in attack mode. He put his head down and just drove to the basket. He's finished with layups. He's finished with hook shots. He's finishing with mid-range shots, floaters. He's hitting all sorts of crazy shots. He's hitting shots off balance. That's what he was doing. Jamal Murray was doing the same thing too. He had a couple threes, but he was driving to the basket, finishing with layups, getting floaters. He was doing all sorts of crazy things. Your two best players came out here and played their tail off. However, I think one thing that needs to be said was the unsung hero for the Denver Nuggets, I feel, because you were getting you were getting a lot of production from Jokic and Murray, but no one else was showing up. KCP had 6 points. Aaron Gordon had 11 points early on, but he kind of disappeared as the game went down the stretch. Michael Porter Jr. had 2 points. So you weren't getting anything. You didn't get much from Bruce Brown, 5 points. Jeff Green, 4. You needed somebody to come and help them, and that person today was Christian Braun. Christian Braun came in that third quarter. He was cooking. 15 points, 7 out of 8 from the field. That's exactly what you need. You need somebody to give you something. Without those 15 points, we're in a tightly contested game. So shout out to that man because he showed up and he played, man. He played his tail off. You needed production somewhere and he came off the bench and gave you it. Also, it was very interesting because we saw a situation where Mike Malone actually started going into his bench because Reggie Jackson actually came in the game. And I was shocked to see Reggie Jackson come into the game. So you got to give credit to Mike Malone. He basically told his team, guys, why are we trying to shoot all these damn threes? We're the bigger team. We have more size. We're more physical. Let's just bully them in the paint. They can't stop us. And that's what they did. I also love what I saw from Denver defensively because not only did they play bully ball offensively, they made sure they ran the Miami Heat off of the three-point line. They made every three Miami got, well, not every, but most of the threes, especially in the second half, those were contested threes. Those were tough threes. At times, they made Miami hesitate to shoot the basketball. They got in the Heat's head tonight because they were running them off the three-point line and forcing them into tough shots. Shout out to the Denver Nuggets. As for the Miami Heat, disappointing loss, man. 31% from the three-point line is not going to do it. You shot 35 threes today. Honestly, it's about similar to what you shot in the game too, but the fact that you made 11, I'm going to tell you right now, the key to the Miami Heat winning, they have to shoot 45% from the three-point line and hit at least 15 threes. They cannot compete with the size. Tonight is the blueprint. I'm telling you right now, if the Denver Nuggets go on to win the championship, it's because of this adjustment that they made in Game 3 tonight. Miami cannot compete with their size. They cannot compete with their size at all. I think moving forward, if you're Denver, you play like this. You just play bully ball. They can't stop us in the paint. We've got Aaron Gordon. We got MPJ. We've got Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray can get to the basket and finish. He can hit tough shots, tough contested shots over any defender. We are going to bully them in the paint. They are not as physical as we are. So that's what we got to do. Moving forward, I expect Denver to play like that. Just bully these guys. That's what they need to do. Bully them in the paint. Now, on Miami's side, I'm very interested in seeing what sort of adjustment Eric Spoelstra is going to make, because you're looking at this right now and you're saying, okay, we just got out physical and out bullied. We don't have the size to compete for them, to compete with them. We don't. So what we need to do is to kill them with our three-point shooting. We have to score threes. Tonight, Jimmy Butler actually played his best game of the finals. In fact, it's probably one of the best games he's had in quite some time. 28 points for him, but only 4 assists and 2 rebounds. That tells you that no one else was being effective. When he only has 4 assists and 2 rebounds, not only was no one else being effective in scoring points, but Jimmy really couldn't get to the basket like that. Bam had another good game, 22 points for him. He didn't shoot well at all. 7 of 21. 22 points for him, 17 rebounds. He was straight up going at it with Nikola Jokic, and at the end of the day, he was doing whatever he needed to do to try and keep us in the game, but it was a bad game for Bam overall. 7 of 21 is just not good. Gabe Vincent, 2 of 10, 7 points. I mean, Max Strus, 1 of 7, 3 points. When you have your shooters shooting this poorly, you can't win. You got some production from Caleb Martin. He gave you 10, but I mean, 8 of it came in like the second quarter, and past that, he was really ineffective. Kyle Lowry, he had 9 points, 4 of 8. He hit a 3, so that's good for him. But honestly, Miami was just ineffective shooting the ball. Duncan Robinson finished with 9 points, but that's because he made like 2 crazy threes. Nothing super major or anything like that. But yeah, Miami's three-point shooting tonight ultimately was the downfall of them. It's the only way they're going to be able to win. They don't have the size to match up with Denver. So what do? You have to beat them from the outside. That's where their three-point shooting comes in. In fact, if you look at it, Miami's never really had the size advantage at all this entire postseason. They're a small team. They didn't have the size against Milwaukee, didn't have the size against Boston, didn't have the size against the Knicks, and they don't have the size against the Denver Nuggets. So the only way they have a chance of winning this series and winning the championship has to deal with their three-point shooting. You cannot shoot 31% from the three-point line. You can't. If Miami shoots 31% from the three-point line, they're going to lose this series in 5. They have to shoot above 40% for the three-point line. That's the only way they have a chance to win this series. So, yeah, it's going to come down to Game 4. And we're going to have to see what adjustments Spoelstra makes in order to get these guys the looks. But Miami got ran off the three-point line. They started playing into Denver's game because at times they were rejecting threes and driving to the basket. I'm just like, what are you doing? You understand that you're not about to get that shot over Nikola Jokic. And then you got MPJ standing there and Aaron Gordon. I'm like, you're not going to do anything with this size. We're a small team. We can only beat teams with our three-point shooting. So you need to have Gabe Vincent show up. You need to have Max Strus show up. You need to have Duncan Robinson show up. You need to have your guys show up and hit threes. If they're not doing that, Miami has no chance to win this series. It comes down to that. And Jimmy can't do it on his own, as we can see. So, yeah, Miami's going to have to be better from the three-point line in Game 4. I expect them to perform better down the stretch in the second half in Game 4 than they did in Game 3 tonight. So, it's a quick turnaround. Game 4 is going to be on Friday. We'll have to wait and see. There is an X factor, though, and honestly, I don't even know if he's going to play in Game 4. For those that are saying that we don't need Tyler Hero, it's performances like this tonight that I point to and say, yeah, we do need Tyler Hero. Because when Gabe Vincent is not giving you much, and you're not getting anything from Strus or Duncan Robinson, you need a Tyler Hero that can score on all 3 levels. He can finish at the rim. He can hit the mid-range jump shot. He can hit the 3. He's one of our best three-point shooters. So you need a Tyler Hero. Again, you know he's going to be a defensive liability. But it's no different than Duncan Robinson. And you know there's other things Tyler Hero can do to create his own shot. So you need another scorer. And I don't know if Tyler Hero is going to come back for Game 4. But if he's back, you got to hope that he's feeling himself early on. Otherwise, I don't even know if you can play him. Miami is at the brink at this point. You're down 2-1 in the series. Obviously, it isn't over yet, but you lose game 4 at home, it's over. If Miami loses both games at home, Denver will be celebrating the title on their home court in game 5 because this will be a quick series. So it's do or die for the Miami Heat in game 4. They need to show up and they need to play their best basketball of the season if they want to keep their title hopes alive. You have to find a way to tie this series and send it back to Denver 2-2. You cannot afford to lose on Friday. So, huge game, biggest game of the season for the Heat is on Friday for game 4. We'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, that is all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.